okay, so let's make videos. So I thought, normally people write their content down, but I'll be honest with you, I hate writing. Hate it. So I just kind of wanted to take an opportunity to reintroduce myself to you guys, okay? I am a hot yoga loving, boot camp, early morning workout, red wine drinking, dark chocolate lover, mama free wife, and a constant quest for health and wellness. I was hospitalized 8 times between the ages of 8 and 10. I had double pneumonia when I was 5 and lived in an oxygen tent. And by the time I hit my late teens, my body was sick. I was sick of being sick. I was on medications. I had missed a lot of school. And I decided I needed to try other things. So I would say probably around when I was like 18 years old, I started to look into other holistic modalities. I started going to acupuncture and chiropractic care. I did colonics. I had massages. I became a vegetarian. I did all the things that I could do, and my body did get healthier and stronger. And obviously I was still in my teens and still was like liking to be a teenager and partying and stuff like that in my 20s, and did some pretty not healthy things for my body, as I'm sure the rest of us have. But I would always chronically get really sick multiple times a year, like 2 or 3 times a year. And so I decided, really in like my mid-20s to dive deeper. And so I did. And then I've just continued on this quest kind of simultaneously. It was never something that I considered to be part of my, like, as a job or a career or something for me. It was just always something that was a really important part of me. People would know, like, oh, there's Kim, she's going to her acupuncturist. And it was always like very like known about it. It was something that I knew these things were helping me. So fast forward to about 4 years ago, and I had a opportunity to go to my chiropractor's office, and she was diffusing Young Living Thieves in her office. And I was like, I love the smell, what's going on? And she's like, oh, it's because it was like this time of year. She's like, it's great for like boosting your immune system and like all the coughs and germs and stuff. And I was like, sign me up, right? Because anything I could do that could make me not get as sick as I usually get and have to go on like prednisones and really strong medications and just be out for the count. Like, I was a non-functioning mom, a non-functioning parent, a non-functioning employee. So I started using them, but I have to be honest with you, really started using them for myself, which was definitely a detriment. I will admit that now, but whatever, we learn our lessons. So I started to integrate them into our family after I had an incident, one of my daughters came home. She was young. She was about 8 or 9 years old. And she was just, she was kind of in a very kind of a little bit of a self-loathing phase, not super happy. And came home and was crying, that visceral, like sobbing, like tearing kind of thing. And so I was like, you know what? I have these oils and people say they work for emotions and for calming people down and whatever. And I'm like, what? Let's give it a try. So I put 2 oils. I put this oil called Valor and cedarwood in my hands, and I rubbed them together. And I had her take, I put it over her nose. I will tell you straight up, I put her in the shower because water is really, really good for the body. It helps you relax. And I put her in the shower and I stuck my hands over her nose and I had her breathe for like 10 seconds. And then I told her to keep on breathing. And we probably did it for, I'd say, between 30 to 60 seconds. And after that period of time, because she was taking big intentional breaths and she was smelling something, her whole body started to relax. And she was able to actually form a sentence, right? That's pretty amazing. And I was, all of a sudden this light bulb went off my head. I'm like, okay, so yep, they can be helpful in other ways. And from that point on, I really did a deeper dive. At that point, I'll be honest with you, I was still very guilty of using chemical cleaners in my house. I'm going to straight up tell you that. I was definitely a product of thinking, when something smells clean, that's like that chemically clean, then the house is clean, or that you have a clean environment. That is training. It is not necessarily a fact. So I was sitting one day at the pulmonologist's office, which is an asthma doctor, and I'm staring at the chart. And I'm looking at it, and all of a sudden, they have these triggers, and one of them is chemicals. And I'm like cocking my head. It's like when I remember being 12 and all of a sudden realizing that chicken was the same chicken that you were eating. I was like, okay. And so it was like a light bulb went off in my head, and I'm like, oh my God. So you mean the stuff I'm cleaning my house with is actually impacting my health? So out went all that stuff. And as I refer to everybody, when I talked about the oil thieves it was diffusing, I put that in my body every day to help support myself and like through these seasons. But they have a cleaner that is amazing. And I will tell you straight up right now, for the last year, probably longer than that, I've been only cleaning my house with Thieves cleaner and white vinegar and baking soda. Okay. And so I know that sounds a little bit crazy, and you know, I think the smell is amazing. So it kind of smells like cinnamon and stuff like that. It does not have that kind of chemically clean smell to it. But I will tell you, from the moment that I remove that stuff from my house, my immune system, my breathing changed dramatically. I used to walk into a house that had been cleaned and I could feel it in my lungs. It was just like, my whole body was coming down. So I'm an asthmatic, but think about the fact that I'm an asthmatic, so it affects me, but it's affecting everybody. It's affecting everybody's lungs. And so this all has spiraled into something that really about a year ago-ish, I decided, I was like, people need to have this information and people need to know. And so I decided teaching people and giving people classes and educating them. I love what I do. It is an amazing career. It is amazing to give people information. It is amazing to watch them feel empowered. It's amazing for them to like all of a sudden have this light bulb go off in their head and things change, and to give people options. We need a balance in this society between Eastern and Western medication. Straight up, I'm an asthmatic. I take an asthma medication every day. I would not probably be living on this planet if it was not for medication. I would have been like survival of the fittest was not going to be Kim. But I have found that there's other ways to support myself so I can, you know, not get sick. And if I do, for not as long or not as dramatically. But also, there's other recourses I can use before I have to go all the way to like some of these really strong asthma medications that can be like the back end effects on my body would be catastrophic. Not catastrophic, I apologize. That's a really big word, but they can be really detrimental, and I'd have to there'd be like recourse at how long my body would take to heal from it. So once my lungs would feel better, then other things in my body would feel better, if it would be out of whack, whether it be like my gut or sometimes I would gain weight, I'd have soreness in joints, etc. So all of this said, my story of kind of how I became a Young Living wellness advocate and educator is kind of through a 25-year lifespan of my experiences, personal experiences that have come from me and the team of people that I work on. The amazing people have been using these. And so for me, it's extremely gratifying to be able to sit and educate people and open their eyes to things and give them the ability and options that a lot of people are looking for. Some people it's because their bodies are sick, some people because they're looking for other alternatives, and some people because they're young and they actually want to start. They've heard about things and they actually want to start. Just remember, different, we're the East Coast, and so sometimes this is very popular on the West Coast, and in Europe they've been using other holistic modalities for years and years. Plant-based medicine has been used obviously long before anyone created drugs, because that was the only thing they had, and a lot of drugs have been created based on the properties that come out of plants. So we're kind of just going full circle back to using essential oils and essential oil infused products into our bodies to give our bodies the best chance, because we are an amazing machine by ourselves. And once you give your body the ability to actually function with the immune system we've all been giving by ourselves, we can heal ourselves. And that's what's absolutely amazing about the human body. So that's a little about me. It's about my asthma struggles. It's about being a mom. It's about growing up and living, and it's about my love for being able to empower people. So that's my little introduction for myself. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Okay, bye.